Hello everybody, Chris here, and today I want to give you 10 reasons why Skype is an awesome program to work with. Now, if you don't already know, Skype is a tool which allows you to basically send messages to other people on the internet, also do video calls with them, and if you do the paid services, you can basically turn it into the equivalent of having a landline phone, except on your computer using voice over IP technology, and even having the ability to text other people. However, this is not to say that Skype is perfect by any means. Yes, there are flaws with it, and I have noticed even more flaws on the mobile versions. However, what you gotta do is compare it to the other things that are out there, like Facebook Messenger. And when you really take everything into consideration, Skype is a pretty nice tool to have, whether you're on Windows, Mac, or even Linux. So, reason number one why Skype is awesome. You see this right here, it's a group conversation. Now, if I was to add other people to this conversation, you can use video calling not just with one person, but with multiple people in the same conversation. So using Skype, you'd be able to meet with other people across the internet, basically for free, in a single group chat or a single video call conference. And that's really nice to have and really gives Skype credit for being a useful tool for businesses. Reason number two, as you type in messages to Skype and you use Skype every single day, it's going to get to the point where you've been using it for months and months and months, and you may come across the point in time where you actually wrote down something in a previous conversation that you want to bring up again. Maybe it was an important piece of information. The chat history on Skype, as long as you leave it set up to the defaults, allows you to basically go back months and bring up earlier conversations. So if there was something you said last week that you need, you can access that again. Reason number three, being able to edit messages for a short time after they've been released. You can see here that there's a little symbol over here because I've edited this message that was there previously. As long as it's been only a few hours and maybe up to a day, I don't know the exact amount of time, you can right-click on any message you've previously said in Skype, go to Edit Message, and literally change the text that was in it. Though it seems to not like it when it goes all the way back. Okay, there we go. Change the text. And then, basically for you and the other people in the conversation, that text will have changed. So it's very useful if you made a grammatical mistake or maybe if you said something you shouldn't have, honestly. Reason number four, there are a large amount of people using Skype. So if you ever ask someone who's fairly tech savvy if they can jump on Skype, it usually requires no explanation. A lot of people will already have it installed and they'll be able to use it because they're already familiar with it. A great example of this would actually be if you're looking for a job, you can ask some of the recruiters to do a Skype interview with you instead of having to go down to their office all the time when they want to meet you in person. Reason number five, let's say on Skype you're getting a lot of spam because you're incredibly famous on the internet. One thing you can do is go to Tools, Options, and I believe it's down here on Privacy, where you can basically prevent other people from IMing you or sending calls to you simply by changing the options here. So if you're getting a lot of spam and maybe you want to keep your Skype inaccessible to people you didn't add first, basically locking down Skype a bit, you can do that very easily in these privacy settings. Reason number six, you don't need to pay for Skype calls or simply messaging people on another computer, but if you actually want to go a step beyond that and literally call phone numbers, or to send text messages to other people's phones, you can do that by adding in Skype credit and actually paying for the service. So you have the basic functionality of being able to chat and video call with other people, but you can also use Skype as your phone. Reason number seven, let's say you're doing something important and you don't want to be interrupted. Or even worse, if you were to say hear a sound on your computer because you were recording a video, it would come inside the audio and not be particularly great. What you can do inside of Skype, instead of just having to go into Tools and literally disabling the sounds, is to click on your status and change it to Do Not Disturb. This will basically prevent you from receiving the sound effects about Skype messages, and I believe also it prevents little pop-ups from appearing. Basically, Skype normally flashes when you have a new message. If you're on Do Not Disturb, that won't be there, so you could minimize Skype in the background and completely forget about it. You wouldn't be being bugged by it because of Do Not Disturb. It's a very handy setting indeed. Reason number 8, automatic updates. If you use a lot of different technology and software out there, you probably get tired of having to install the new updates for Java, Flash Player, a new browser, whatever you're trying to install updates for. So every program that can basically manage that for itself and just do it in the background without bugging you about it is going to be a little bit of ease off your conscience. So Skype by default has automatic updates. So that's definitely a handy thing to have. You won't need to manually download updates for Skype every month. Reason number 9, call forwarding. I have a friend who has used this to real good effect. If you are using the premium version of Skype where you have a subscription, and you also have your cell phone, and maybe you do a lot of, let's say, tech support that's remote and you have to be away from your computer quite often, you can have the missed calls on Skype forward directly to your phone. So if Skype gets the rings and no one's picking up, the call basically transfers from Skype to your phone, and then it will start ringing the phone and you can pick the call up remotely. Now, yes, another option would simply be to have Skype installed on your smartphone if you're using Android or iPhone, but call forwarding also works with landlines, and if you've used a landline, I mean, maybe there are people who haven't in this day and age, then landlines don't actually have the ability to install Skype, so it basically will work with any phone. The 10th reason why Skype is awesome is because of voice messaging. Now, voice messaging is something you would absolutely expect from landlines or cell phones, but when it comes to instant messaging systems that allow you to basically do audio calls, it's not always the case. It's not always there. So to have that feature inside of Skype really gives it credit to the whole idea of being able to replace or supplement your landline phone system. As a feature-rich piece of software that's available on most operating systems, Skype is arguably the best solution out there when it comes to sending messages, audio calls, or video calls to other people across the internet. It's a great and versatile tool, and obviously I recommend it. So let me know what you think down below. Is Skype really the best option out there as far as doing audio and video calls across computers, or is there another option out there that I haven't heard about that somehow blows Skype away? Till my next video, I've been Chris, thank you for watching, and I'll see you then.